Good afternoon. This is Speak On It. Live interactive opportunity for you to call in here and speak on the issues we'll be talking about. I just got the word that we have been blessed to have an additional 25 minutes. And I can understand that. I'm sure the congressman is out doing what he has to do for the upcoming election. I went out and voted today. And I'm glad, but in a way, it's taken away some of the mystique of what needs to be done. And I just want to say this here. Those of you that have not voted, particularly senior citizens, the equipment they had in the joint I went, one of the park districts, it's so modernized, the technology, but they walk you right through it. It's big. They can blow up the letters, and you can see real good. And even, you know, even a brother like me that don't know too much, they were able to get me through it, and it was real easy. So y'all just go on in there. It's better than that card that used to be that long that we couldn't do nothing with. Now they got a computer. It's a system. And you just point your finger, and everything is good. So y'all be sure to go vote. Now, you know, Retro Current Team, Speak On It, you know, we're non-profit. We ain't trying to get no money from nobody. We ain't trying to endorse nobody. We ain't doing none of that. But as a citizen, as a responsible citizen, I exercise my right to talk and say what I want to say. And one of the things that I want to say is this. This program here, for me, is an educational opportunity as directed by State Rep LaShawn Ford. Now, I don't even know how to say this, but I'm going to say it. He's on the ballot, too. Now, quiet as kept, I didn't even know until I got in there. So, of course, I had to do what I had to do. Now, I don't know. I don't know who might say there's a conflict of interest, so I ain't going to do no more than tell you. He's on the ballot. And you know when somebody's on the ballot, you have to do what you got to do. So I did what I had to do. Congressman Davis, he's on the ballot. So you need to vote for Congressman Davis. I don't want to hear that thing about, well, man, he old. No, he ain't no older than Sanders. And if he is, he in better shape. Look like it anyway. He ain't no older than Biden. They look like they probably about in the same amount of shape. And he sure ain't no whatever than Trump. So get out there. Look, Congressman Davis been there a long time. I agree. But Congressman Davis has turned out some good people. He's mentored to some lot of people. So for y'all to start thinking that just because you older than 50, you need to go somewhere and sit down, y'all crazy as hell, because I've been doing what I'm doing for over 50 years. That's right. I've been out here in these streets, still out here, doing what I'm doing for over 50 years. Now, I'm sure I've aged, and some of y'all done probably seen it, and I wish I could figure out a way to do whatever you have to do to make it look like you was 50 years younger, but I ain't got that secret. What I'm saying is this here. This opportunity is an opportunity for media outreach. But today we got a bonus. And the bonus is anybody in Chicago that's on CAN TV. Because one of the candidates will be here tonight. He was here last Friday night. It's about getting out the vote, y'all. I mean, you know, we can talk about opioids. We can talk about heroin. We can talk about everything we're going to talk about. But if you don't go vote, and get the right person in there like LaShawn Ford, who worked, and I'm sure others worked with him, with Governor Pritzker. And Governor Pritzker signed an executive order, $4.1 million to help people that's in recovery or trying to get to recovery from opioids. Opioids are not just painkillers. To that degree. When I say just painkillers, I'm talking about medicine. I'm talking about stuff that you expect to see, like that. No. Opioids is heroin. Opioids is even marijuana mixed with fentanyl and other type of substance. In this piece here, there's a headline that tells you very clearly that these capsules here, they are more powerful, or they can be used to replace any opioid. But those are cannabis pills. This marijuana right here that you're looking at is a powerful painkiller, more effective than the medicine the doctor was prescribing to you. You just need to know that. Because sometimes we get sort of twisted. So when State Rep. Sean Ford stated that he wanted me and Brad Cummins from the Voice newspapers to collaborate with the West Side Heroin Opioid Task Force and use the vehicles we use. For Brad, it's the Voice newspapers, and for me, it's this and something else. So we've been doing it, and I think we've been doing a good job. Yeah, you know, I ain't gonna stunt, I ain't gonna be all bodacious, but you know, we've been trying to educate people. We've been trying to bring people into the light and the understanding of not just, at least me, not just. And when I say least me, I mean the not justice for me. I don't know whether, you know, Mr. Cummins and the Voice have went as far as I have, like with these pills here, talking about something that's alternative to painkillers. And there's another piece here that's going to show you where marijuana actually help people get away from alcohol. There are pieces here that will show you some things, and I'm telling you, what happens is this. When you look at part of what's happening in society today, it makes you wonder. Because now they're saying that cannabis is this and cannabis is that. But now they tell you that quiet is kept. I'm using cannabis because that's how they present it. See that? I want you to see this here. Now, this is another cannabis piece. They say that this piece here is an antidote for alcohol and opioids. Go on to YouTube, go on Facebook. You can look right on Lincoln Ashford. That's the name my mama gave me. Timeline, and you can see all of this. Everything we talk about, you can go right to Facebook and you can see everything we talk about. This headline says clearly that cannabis, and I'm going to paraphrase, is very effective in being an antidote. I use the word antidote for people that need help getting off of alcohol, opioids, painkillers. And when I say painkillers, I'm including heroin. So in a minute, we're going to find out that weed, cannabis, bud, marijuana has been very effective, like so many people knew from the time of it being outlawed, and they put alcohol into the okay category. Well, now they done added this. But how many people would have, benefited from medical marijuana had they allowed marijuana and cannabis marijuana and alcohol to be side by side? That's all I'm saying. And it ain't got nothing to do with me, and it ain't got nothing to do with you. It just is what it is. Now you say, why are you always talking about cannabis and marijuana? Because it's what's up. They told us it was a gateway drug. Now they're telling us clearly that it's a gateway drug, but it's a better substitute or alternative to some of the stuff that they've been giving us that they said was good for us. Back in the 90s when they told you that all these painkillers was okay and they weren't going to make you addicted, da-da-da-woo-woo, now you done come to find out that those painkillers that they wouldn't give you that third prescription for had driven people to the street to get what? Heroin, fentanyl, and laced cannabis, marijuana, bud, reefer. And they tell you very clearly that fentanyl is more powerful, probably 100 times more powerful than heroin and morphine. And I don't know how y'all do it. Now, folks tell me, man, when you're dealing with that morphine, you be seeing a whole lot of dead folk. So I imagine how many dead folks you be seeing when you're about to OD. So if you're having a problem and you think you're going to slip in the OD, you better find you a partner, because like LaShawn Ford said, and Lou Size will tell you when you call him. Don't do dope alone. Because if you OD, you cannot administer Narcan, naloxone, to yourself. If you're going to do dope, you need a buddy system. The buddy don't have to be a substance-engaged person. It can be a relative, or it can be anybody that can be there to help you with that. Now, if you got a problem with opioids, whether it's heroin, prescribed drugs that you can't get prescribed no more, you need to call Lou Sires at the West Side Heroin Opioid Task Force. 773-378-4195. Email westside.taskforce@yahoo.com. Mr. Sires is the director of outreach, and he has a team of people that's working, particularly in State Rep LaShawn Ford's district, which is the 8th. And by the way, Congressman Davis is the 7th congressional district. So y'all just need to know that. And you need to know that, and you need to be responsible. You know what I'm saying? LaShawn Ford didn't tell me to say nothing about him running, so I ain't gonna be presumptuous. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna just stay in my lane. But I do say as a citizen, they are running. And I do know that they are doing a lot of things to help folk. The Congressman Davis was in here one day, and he was saying, you know, you all just keep up the work, and we in Congress will continue to do what we have to do to keep resources coming to help the state deal with this epidemic. That's what he said. Now, you see, they ain't just working on one end. In order for what's his name, President Trump, to sign that almost $1 billion, 800 and something million, for opioid recovery efforts, that means that Congress had something to do with that. That's why when you go look at where we are, don't let the 17th come and you did not vote. Because if you do, you will miss the opportunity to keep this coming. Narcan, which is just a brand name of the antidote, the medicine that's used to bring people out of overdose status. What it does, it opens your airways to make it, sound simple. And it allows you to breathe again. And it's free if you call people like Mr. Size. They can help you. And LaShawn Ford got hundreds of other partners, agencies that have joined the efforts. And now that it's a statewide program, we want you to know. We need people to know you can get help. You do not have to die. Now, some of y'all want to die. I know. You want to get to heaven in the pearly gates. You do. And now with this virus, I don't even want to call the name of it, boy, but it got everybody spitting and coughing and shit. Now, what's happening is, even if you don't catch nothing from it, all of this spitting and carrying on and wiping your mouth and touching folks, keep away from me. Don't be reaching for me because I don't want it. But psychologically, you understand? Look at us. I was in the store today. People been telling me I went off in the store just to get some, I went to get some bleach. Not so much for it, but for my dog. What the hell? Best thing, summer coming, so you got to take care of them dogs. Boy, you got to definitely, be sure that the dog area is clean. And for me, I found that the best way to do that is with plain old bleach. When no bleach in the joint. No bleach nowhere in the store. Because everybody got it. Everybody's trying to do this. Come on, y'all. Y'all taking it very serious, and you should. But don't panic. You've been through things before. Don't allow yourself to go out there and go broke because you're scared you're going to die. But if you think you're going to die because you done got up on some bad dope, call loose eyes. If you call loose eyes, you ain't going to die this time because he going to give you something that's going to help you stay alive. And that's going to be some Narcan. Once again, his number is 773-378-4195. Email westside.taskforce@yahoo.com. Now we finna look at another little piece of something here. Now, one of the things I want to look at, a little piece, it don't say a whole lot, but it talks about, once again, meth. You say, well, why you keep talking about meth? I keep talking about meth because, some people missing it. They don't understand. This ain't just about heroin and opioids. That's what you talking about. But meth in other places and places here that we ain't talking about it is doing a lot of damage and people getting hooked. So I'm talking about it because if you talk about it now, you bring awareness and people can be more cautious. So there's a piece that we're going to show at some point here that shows where, the police, they using this coronavirus and telling folks if they come up in there with their medicine, they, with their dope. And, police got to be crazy as hell. Do they really think somebody going to come up in there and bring their meth and hope that the police test it for them without possibly giving them a case? We'll get to that later. Right now,
day of a popular Manhattan.
Okay, it seems like we got something coming here.
Was
Let's go on with that.
Over the weekend after 2 people in the crowd died.
4 others were hospitalized, all of them suspected of using the trendy club drug now known as Molly. Use of the drug among teenagers and 20-somethings has blown up, and local drug officials say our area is not immune.
Local 15's Tammy Braze joins us now. Tammy, why is this drug so dangerous?
Well, the popular image of the drug is that it's safe or a clean party drug because it's man-made. Experts say that makes it all the more dangerous because there's no telling exactly what's in it or how your body will react. Miley Cyrus and other big names in show business sing about it, the popular party drug Molly. You may know it by a different name.
It's ecstasy. And honestly, the way people really know about it is because it just blew up in a lot of music.
Marcellus Parker is a freshman at the University of South Alabama. He hasn't used Molly himself, but says since pop culture made it trendy, lots of his peers do.
And they started acknowledging it in music and gave it the nickname Molly, and so now everyone's like, pop to Molly.
Officials say it can come in pill form and look like a small candy, or in crystal form and look like table sugar. But it's far from innocent.
It's no safer, it's no cleaner, it's no purer than ecstasy.
DEA agent Jason Capstraw says users generally take Molly while partying, dancing and jumping around. They get dehydrated and overheat.
It increases their blood pressure, it increases their heart rates. Basically what it ends up doing is it puts them in almost a heat stroke situation.
For 2 young people at New York City's Electric Zoo Music Festival, the combination proved to be fatal. Agent Capstraw says the best tool for parents is vigilance.
Know what your kids are doing. Know what they're talking about. There is a bunch of talk out there where people say, oh, I'm going to see Molly, or I saw Molly last night, or have you heard from Molly? They're not talking about Molly, their friend down the street.
Officials say combining Molly with other substances like alcohol or caffeine can multiply its effects and make that dehydration that much more severe. Kim?
Now, let me just tell y'all something. No, that ain't about heroin. No, that is not about opioids as such. Now, let me just show you this one because this is what we didn't get to. I want you to look at that picture. When he get back to that picture about this, I want you to see that. That's meth. Now, there's another piece up under that. This is what the police saying, bring it in so we can test it for the virus, and we'll test it free. But I'm just saying that they might test it free, but I don't know if you're going to be free when they get through testing it. So, I'm sure that the police just doing what the police do, sometimes trying to be clever. And I know y'all ain't that high that you go walk up in there and think you're getting it tested. And you might, because they're doing a lot of that with Molly. And I want to say this as it relates to Molly. Now, I said a few shows back that we would be talking about Molly. And there's a piece I wanted to talk about as it relates to females in Molly. Because in Chicago, whether you know it or not, these young people are doing some serious pills. I'm just telling you. Now, the granddaddy, the grandmother, the uncles, the fathers, they might be doing heroin, opioids, but them shorties, them teenagers and younger, and them 20-somethings, like they say, they doing ecstasy. That's some stuff from way back in the 70s. But now, and because it looks so attractive, look like candy, and they just done mixed it up with so much stuff. Until now, what's happening is that older people are talking about some things, but really, younger people ain't on that. So I'd imagine that if State Rep LaShawn Ford had as many young people to die in his district as he had people to OD on opioids, he would be saying, go do media outreach to save the lives of these young people too. So one thing about an elder, I don't wait to be suggested to do. I hear people talk about lean all the time, roofies all the time. I had a piece with them old folks doing lean, but it was sort of like an experiment, and I didn't want to bring that to you because they were talking about all of the stuff that was in their head, and they was having all type of hallucinations. So I said I'd leave that alone. But Molly, I can't leave it alone. Because Molly, they go to the party, they dance, they play, and we're going to show a couple other clips, and I'm hoping Facebook, be patient with what we're doing. This is a longer show, and they might not even want to, help us get it out, because it's an hour. But I hope they do, because our intent is to help educate people. A lot of people, they'll never come into this information unless the information come into their space. Now you say, well, ain't nobody looking at cable. Well, maybe not. But just in case somebody is, some grandparent or some parent, then they can go to their child and say, look out, what is this Molly you talking about? Now the person just told you, Molly ain't a person. But because the entertainers glorified, romanticized, yes, and sexualized Molly, folks thinking Molly is a friend. Molly ain't no friend of y'all. I'm saying this to you grandparents. I'm saying this to you parents. Molly to your teenager. And the girls in Chicago, it really be sending them off, man. They be acting crazy as hell. They face be bumping out. Let's find that piece where they got this person's face with Molly, I think it was the 7th of March. Big old ugly lips. Got him looking crazy, and he ain't even a Negro. And you know how they talk about our lips. And you know doggone well, you don't want your lips like that. Now, some other people be blowing their lips up so they can have big lips. But when you see these lips, you know your kid been doing something they ain't got no business. When you see these bubblegum lips, you don't believe that somebody kissed this gal and her lips swole up like that. No, she ain't went nowhere to have her lips fixed. No. What she has done is went out partying. And the other side of that, and I'm going to say this here because I got a daughter and a granddaughter. I don't like the idea. I truly don't like that idea. Oh, that piece is early in the game. That piece should be about number 3 posted today. So I see that Amari is looking for it. So that's it there, Amari, right there, right there. Now I'm going to show this to you because I want y'all to see that. Look at that. See how Molly make you look around the mouth? You taking that, yeah, you be looking like that, half dead. Them your kids. Okay. Heroin, fentanyl, prescription drugs, killing people. Molly might not be killing as many, but Molly is killing too many. And it is my responsibility as a person that has been blessed to be able to be here and talk to the public by way of this program, to tell you about not only what you are expecting me to tell you about, but to tell you about some things that you need to know. Now, brother, play that piece. I don't know if there's a video on that piece of Molly or not, but it's an educational video.
I found a way to run my old computers.
Molly sounds like that sweet young girl next door, but her real name is X, or ecstasy. She's old, she's been around the block, and she's not the nice gal that you think she is. Hey guys, Trace here for D News. The club drug Molly has been in the news a lot lately, what with Miley Cyrus and other pop stars singing about it, and 2 deaths at Zoo in New York over Labor Day weekend. But before we get too into this, I want to head some of you off at the pass. Molly is Molly is ecstasy. Molly is MDMA. Molly is a generic name for a powdered or crystallized form of MDMA, or methylene dioxymethylamphetamine. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration classifies it as a Schedule I substance, which means it is highly dangerous, has no acceptable medical use, and possessing any amount of it is completely illegal. And powdered, by the way? Powdered does not mean pure. MDMA was created and patented in 1914 and was famously used in the 1970s by psychotherapists due to the drug's strong effect to lower inhibitions and anxiety. In the 1980s, the drug known as E or X began hovering around the house club scene until in the 90s, it became clear that ecstasy was being cut with things far more dangerous, addictive, and toxic. Now in the 20-teens, the drug has resurfaced as Molly, in part because of the concerted effort by the drug sellers to rebrand it as purer powdered form. Let me assure you, scientists, drug users, and drug dealers alike have all gone on the record to say no, that is not true. MDMA is an amphetamine or a stimulant and a hallucinogen. MDMA alters your brain's neurochemistry, bonding with the structures that release and absorb brain chemicals associated with mood, so serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. This immediately induces feelings of euphoria, closeness, and diminished anxiety, peaking after an hour or two and usually lasting 4 to 6. Once people pass their peak, some will hit more and more to maintain that high. After the flood of chemicals abate, your serotonin receptors are just worn out. This is manifested by a depressed mood and extreme fatigue, often a day or two later. Outside of the brain, the chemicals cause the rest of your body to go into overdrive, causing high blood pressure and body temperature, or hyperthermia, which can then also cause kidney and liver failure. Often people on ecstasy drink lots of water thinking their biggest danger is dehydration, which they're kind of right, that can be bad, but too much water intake combined with lots of sweating causes blood sodium and electrolyte levels to drop, resulting in confusion, delirium, convulsions, and maybe even a stroke. The icing on this happy little cake is MDMA usually is not sold by itself. It's often cut with ketamine, LSD, speed, or anything that you crush into a white powder. In combination, these drugs are extremely toxic to the human body. Now, in its pure form, like actually its pure form, MDMA is relatively safe as drugs go, but it can be habit forming because as your neurons become immune to large amounts of serotonin, it requires more drugs to get the same high. Overall, deaths from this old gal are pretty rare, though since 2004 the number of hospital visits have more than doubled to around 20,000 a year. So does knowing all this make you think twice about trying it? Let me know, and thanks for watching D News today. Stay safe out there, everybody.
Yeah, done doubled to 20,000.
Hey, I don't know if you heard, but we just had a big development.
Oh, yeah? And he's some, man, boy, I ought to slap you. 20,000 deaths a year of young people. And you saying seldom do it? Man, I don't know what to tell you. See, for me, that's unacceptable. And that's why we're talking about that here. And we're going to continue to talk about it. And I'm going to, before this series is over, I'm going to bring that piece. I found it, but, Amari done told me about this here. I don't want to say I'm hard-headed, but, I be putting so much stuff on there until this piece is so far down that I can't even find it. So now I got to go back and find where I found it from and bring it. And that's, once again, back to the hormonal structure of a female versus the masculine structure, that's me being street-level talk, of a male. Make females more susceptible to that emotional feeling that Molly generates, which might explain why so many of these sisters are getting took out. So many of these females are getting took out here and getting strung out and getting used up. See, it's important for us to understand. A lot of young girls out here are being trafficked. They are being trafficked because they've gotten addicted to some type of substance. And people put this in these girls' hand, and now the girl will do anything to get some more. And they done told you it's a party drug. So they just party, party, party. And some of you parents and grandparents have seen your children just drinking water, drinking water, drinking water. It's a sign. So the thing I want to suggest to all of us is that we pay more attention. That word Molly, not always. Sometimes they do have a friend named Molly. They do. Sometimes it ain't something else. It is what they say. But sometimes when you look at the other things associated with it, I don't want to say it's a call out for help, but it's an opportunity for you to intervene. And if you think they're doing more than that, you can still, and I'm going to say this here. A person, man, why this thing look crooked? I don't understand that. I don't like nothing looking crooked like that. But then I better leave it alone before it get real crooked. Now, opioids, heroin, from a lot of people, you know, they say, well, those are hard drugs, man, the heroin, because the opioids seem to send people to heroin because they ain't got no money. And if people don't have money, people go do whatever they got to do to get done what they need done. They important. But we have worked that pretty extensively. And we might do another quarter, you know, after the break. But what I'm going to probably try to do is probably find me a group of young people. Because these shows that we've been doing here, and I told Amari, he done already told me how to do this. And when the time comes, he's going to help me do it. What we want to do during the next quarter is take a group of young people, and we want to use these Facebook sessions that we have done here to engage conversation and discussion with the young people so they can be aware. Now, we know that CPS, you know, if you're a Negro and you my age, my generation, CPS discounts you. They don't give a damn about that doctorate. They don't give a damn that I've been doing this and got a doctorate in this here. This is exactly what I do, and that's why I've been doing it for over 50-some years. They don't care. But we used to be in those schools, grammar schools, high schools, all type of schools, under the Chicago University Network, and even on the Daily. We started on the Harold Washington, but even on the Daily. Man, we was popping in them schools. And we could still do a lot to help the public schools. But after Rahm Emanuel, it switched. And then unless you LGBTQ, they don't want you up in there. If you don't know how to switch, they don't want you there. I said that. You understand? If you ain't white, they don't want you talking to black kids. I said that. But we need to talk to our children about Molly. We need them to know about Narcan. Yes, we do. And, you know, ain't nobody, you know, man, damn that. Y'all ain't letting us in no way. And there's only so much we can do on the street corner. And now that you all done program those kids to lie on everybody, I don't want to talk to them no how. Maybe they'll let us back into the arty home like we used to be, to talk to people under controlled circumstances. And the reason is this. Our children are dying. Our children are getting cases. But those of us that know how to deal with our children are being denied to intervene with our children. Why? Because you got a bunch of new generations that think white folks and Hispanics and Asians are better qualified to mentor Negro children. That's a lie. They ain't. Their grandparents, my generation, are probably the best antidote to all of this foolishness these kids are going to, because we are that link. We are that anchor. We are the cushion they need. Mayor, Dr. Jackson and the rest of y'all, stop playing. Y'all need to take the opportunity that we still living and allow us to help with our own children. But no, you give millions of dollars. I almost called his name, but I ain't, because I might be over there big and like all these other Negroes. White man got millions of dollars. All of the money to help black folks deal with intervention program got to come to a white man. And then they got a little white boy that stole one of our associates' program, calling it BAM. What the hell you know about BAM? We said BAM when we was young boys. Every time we talked, we said BAM, da-da-da-da, BAM, da-da-da-da, BAM. So some white boy done stole it from another dude that used to work with us, one of the managers. So now they're going to say becoming a man. How in the hell you going to help a black kid become a man and you done stole the word BAM and you don't even know what BAM is? See what I'm saying? These are things that you all do with the Negro. You understand? And now the drugs, the marijuana, the opioids, the Molly, the ecstasy, all of that stuff there is popping right now. But people like me, like I said before, are denied. And that's why I salute LaShawn Ford for saying, dude, do what you do. Because I thought I was going to do something else. But LaShawn Ford said, no, man, I don't want you doing that. I want you to do what you're doing. Thank you, sir. Because I was all geeked up because I used to be off in the, you know, going into the rehab centers. You know, back in the day, Bethany Drug Abuse Clinic. You know, I worked there for some years. Worked with Safer Foundation for some years. So, you know, but now they tell me, oh, you can't do that unless you are certified in that. How in the hell you going to tell me what I can't do and I got a damn doctorate? You don't tell that little white boy that ain't but 21 years old he can't do it. He might have went somewhere and got some certificate for some other of his kind, but then you going to tell me that done dealt with it. They say, well, you don't have life experience. Hell no, I don't need to be no damn dope fiend to know how to do what it takes to help a person be clean. But those are the games you use to keep the best, most effective people from serving our people. And yes, we got this time tonight, and I'm going to make it clear. I'm going to skin it. Because at the end of the day, ain't nobody scared of you. I'm going to skin it. You need to give us access to our children because Molly is turning our girls out especially. Our boys, they seem to be off into some silliness. But I'm telling you, these girls are terrible now. I saw a little female the other day, little thing. Saw with one boy, and she was just acting like a serious little firecracker. All up on 63rd. And then the boy from the other end, he going back down to 67. I'm looking at it. I didn't say one word. Then the next day, I'll show you how them kids get killed. They look like they might be freshmen. That day, he and the girl was hot, but the girl was hotter than him. And I looked, and then I just walked away because I couldn't stand it. Because I wanted to say something. But CPS said you just stand out there and be a community watcher. Don't open your mouth. Don't say nothing to them. And I said, okay. So I watch, which is sad. And then the next day, the girl had a girlfriend with her, another female. They all about the same age. And they was waiting for her to get on the bus. She got on the bus. The boy and the girl stood there and they freaked for a while. And then the girl went on back to the school. The next day, I see them out there. And I knew it then, and I told security at the school, at the high school. I said, you know, this little girl, I didn't know her name yet, and I wasn't going to just put her on blast, and I wasn't going to create confusion. But I'm just sharing this with you because you need to understand because your behind ain't out there. And just because you've been elected to something, and you're trying to become something, I'm already this. And I've been doing this. So I'm telling you what we see that these little young people you bringing in ain't going to see. So I see her the next day. So her and the little heat between her and this boy is not evaporated. But what he did, he brought one of his boys with him. Now they go to another school, but they're on another school campus. And she acted like she was on some type of substance. Might have been Molly's, because what she was doing was uncalled for. So now this boy and the other boy, he's just going along because there was another girl. So now she looked like she running from the boy. So these boys following up behind these girls. So I tell the female staff, I said, you need to get in and ask the girls, are they cool with this? So they try to play it off, but the boys, you could tell, the one little boy that she was kicking it with the day before, You could tell he's special needs. And I could see him, that little dude there, he either make you kill him or he'll kill you. I could see it in him. So I catch up with him and I say, look here. Because this girl run from them to another boy to go to a grammar school. A good boy. I've been watching him for 3 years. And right then I had to intervene, y'all. And see, Mayor, Dr. Jackson, and the rest of y'all that think y'all know every damn thing and you got to be white or Hispanic or something else other than a Negro, listen. I saw it. These boys trying to catch up with the girls, but the girls ignoring them and they run to another boy. You see how dangerous that is? So when the girl runs to the other boy, she hugs him. But the boy she was hugging the day before, he's there witnessing this. The other little boy, innocent. So I had to tell him, I said, look here, dude, you can't do this here. You can't do this. Because what'll happen, she said, oh, they ain't gonna do nothing to him. You little heifer. You don't know what they're gonna do. That boy get mad at you. He can come up with a gun to get some of his partners to shoot that little boy that don't know what's happening. Because he's special needs. He's got issues. He can't control his emotions. And lo and behold, yesterday, I see the same little heifer. The other boy didn't come back. I guess he said, I ain't playing. So here she is, a girl. She got to be doing something crazy. She done walked the boy back to where he get ready to go where he going. She done walked the girl to the bus stop. Now she done walked 5 blocks from Woods through the community by herself. I ain't got around to telling security yet her name, but I'm going to get it from the little boy because they need to intervene. Now let me ask you, Miss Mayor. That's what I said. Let me ask you, Dr. Jackson. That's what I said. Do you think you would have picked all that up just standing out there? Hell no, you wouldn't have picked it up because you wouldn't have knew what the hell was going on. Do you think somebody other than those of us that's out there every day would be able to read that situation and know that that situation before spring is over going to get somebody hurt if there's not an intervention? No, you don't know. We were going to do another piece on this Molly. You don't need no more on Molly. I ain't talking about Molly, no more. Right now, I'm editorializing. Right now, I'm doing commentary. And the bottom line is, you people don't understand how serious it is. You don't know. Our children are suffering. And I heard them say that one of the reasons they ain't closing the schools or rescheduling spring break until April is because so many of our children, the only time they get to eat is at school. The only time they get to take a shower is in the face bowl in the toilet when the water pressure is up. You understand me? So many of them homeless. But you tell me, oh, you Greg, you know, oh, you old, go on and die. We don't want no old folks talking to these children. What a shame. How did we get to this? How did we get that the damn public schools don't want elders working with their grandchildren? How did we get here? And I told people the other week, I was at a grammar school the other day, parents jumping on grammar school kids. And when other parents try to intervene, I saw this one woman, she gets slammed by a man, she gets stomped by a man, and them other big old hippopotamus women and their daughters were stomping this woman. You understand me? I saw this. And now they done got popped because parents were standing there. They ain't got popped the way they should have got popped. Parents standing there videoing it. Then they done put it up on Instagram, and now the police know who they were. I just hope the police come lock up those women that was hitting other people's children, fighting for their children, and this poor little 90-pound woman. They snatched all her hair, bald-headed, had her on the ground. She couldn't breathe. People talking about, let her hair go. Why would they let her hair go when they was controlling about her hair? I see this. Police finally got there after community watch called them maybe about 12 minutes later to do crowd control, but they weren't able to break up the fight because it was too late. So they ended up, the poor woman that was a victim, because she was scared, got in her vehicle and was trying to get away, police thought she was being reckless. She wasn't being reckless, man. They just got through beating the hell out of her and her daughter. But they didn't know that, and I wasn't going to say nothing because they ain't in my place. Stay in my lane. But the bottom line is, we see this every day. Miss Mayor, Dr. Jackson, they go, you know, man, they're going to ban you away from them schools. They ain't going to have you doing nothing. Well, if that's the case, so be it. But I'm going to tell it because you need to know it. They locked this poor woman where they put her in handcuffs and put her in the car. And the police in the white shirt said, we're going to impound the car. I wanted to say so bad, that is so unfair. She done already got the snot beat out of her. And now you taking her car. You treating her like she was the aggressor. The aggressor, she drove back talking about how they had scraped these little poor people. But the bottom line is, she is the one that threw the first lick on a child in grammar school. But her big wobbly behind is still out there bragging about how she scraped a little woman a quarter of her size. You know, somebody need to tell y'all. Those people weren't high other than on marijuana because all of them cars were stinking. Y'all done made that dollar law now so the police don't say nothing about it. But they'll tell me to stop. I had to go spend good money today to get a light bulb because my light bulb was out. And they stop me and I tell them, ooh, I don't want the high beam because I don't think. They said, well, that's very inconsiderate. So they let me have my license back. But they stopped me because of a light bulb. And I see all these Negroes driving around with no lights. And then they got all of these damn night light bullies. They got them high beams and them orange beams, and a senior citizen can't see nothing. But you let that happen. That's okay. So you let things happen that's making society almost impossible. Make grown folks, old folks, want to die. They want to die simply because of the fact that you devils have allowed society to degenerate because you don't allow the elders to interact with the young. That's part of the problem. But, and we even asked CPS, could we come in there and train these community watchers? We ain't heard nothing yet. I didn't ask because I know they look at me like I'm crazy. So I asked the white man to ask, but I don't know the white man telling me everything or not. But I know one doggone thing. They probably gonna say no. But I bet you if they had somebody else come up in there, they would say yeah. They make all type of excuses. But we saw down here on this show where in some of these places, they teaching grammar school kids how to administer the Proxen, Narcan. If you want to know how to administer Narcan, call Lou Sires, Mr. Sires, at the West Side Heroin Opioid Task Force, 773-378-4195. Email westsidetaskforce@yahoo.com. See, can you find that other piece, brother? I was trying not to look at it, the piece where they're talking about Molly, but I think they sound like they sound, New York, I think. The reason I was trying not to play it is actually because of the fact, I think it's the one up there, the one with all them pills. See, I think that one, let's play it, because I'm tired of talking. When I get tired of talking, I want to shut up. Y'all trying to figure out what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what needed to be talked about. Yeah, I talk like that. Come on with it. Oh, sorry.
A night at a New York City dance club and the steady beat of electronic dance music.
I wanted to get that caller in, but we'll do that later. Go on, brother.
EDM signals the start of another night of searching for many of these dancers. They want Molly, lately the drug of choice. It's a nickname given to a pure form of MDMA or ecstasy. And speaking to our undercover cameras, some tell us getting ready for Molly has taken all week.
I know what to do to prepare for it. Dude, I hydrate all week. I drink 11 bottles of water all week. Every time I take like a gram or more, today I'm not taking any. I didn't take any yet.
Molly has been around for a decade. Originally, it was ecstasy. But just in the last few years, Molly has gone from a known drug to an unknown quantity, a toxic chemical cocktail. Users don't know what they are getting, and one hit can put you in the hospital. She was lucky.
Molly,
Deaths from overdoses associated with Molly are being reported across the country.
Shelley Goldsmith's father is convinced a bad batch of the drug is responsible.
Molly is no longer just ecstasy. What it is, according to the DEA, is any of a half-dozen variations of extremely dangerous synthetic designer drugs flooding the Western world.
We're seizing larger and larger quantities of methadone and a half a dozen other compounds that we're frequently seeing in these substances that are being marketed as Molly.
And we see the overdoses and even deaths increase?
We have seen a number of deaths attributed to what the abuser thought was Molly. Our kids are really being used as guinea pigs by these drug traffickers.
Kids as guinea pigs for the new drug dealers. Chemists creating their often toxic compounds in labs, mostly in China. The chemicals are imported to the U.S. and Europe, where they're assembled, packaged, and sold to kids who may think it's just the same old MDMA.
When we look at overdose deaths in the United States with these new synthetic compounds, frequently it's very difficult for us to determine what the actual death may have been caused from.
It's taken just 3 years for this flood of new synthetic drugs like these to change the landscape of the illicit drug market in this country. As CNN has shown, the drugs known as spice, N-bomb, bath salts can be bought easily over the internet, mailed directly to your home. We tested this packet of Afghan Ultra Black, supposedly synthetic marijuana. It had a hidden surprise.
That is the tryptamine, the hallucinogen.
At this DEA lab, products with the same exact label in the same exact package yield wildly different results.
They may have different drugs. They may have drugs in different concentrations, and then within the amount of plant material, the concentration differs.
It is information not likely to be involved in the decision, whether to ingest or not ingest a pill, a powder, a packet at a dance club on a Saturday night in New York. Here, night after night, and in clubs across the U.S., the real dangers of Molly are being felt one hit, one overdose, one death at a time. For Out Front, Drew Griffin, CNN, Washington.
Now, here we go again with China.
Why aren't you the landlord?
No.
Yes.
China. That thing that's 100 times more powerful than heroin, 100 times more powerful than morphine. Where it come from? China. Now we got an epidemic, pandemic, whatever they want to call it. Where it come from? China. They should have had enough sense to know that Dracula and Eddie Murphy Blackler weren't going to tolerate them messing with them bats like that. There's a piece on my daggone thing, but okay, Amara, I ain't going to put you on the spot like that, where they got this live bat over there in China. They cutting him up, yakking on him, eating him. No wonder you got this epidemic. Them bats went to Dracula, and they come back, and they working havoc on the world. Now everybody's scared. Yeah, that's up further because I only posted that a couple of days ago. So that's closer to the, yeah, I wish you could show them, got this bat in a plate. Got him in the plate. If they don't find him, it's all right. But if they find him, I'd like for you to see him because the truth of the matter is, when you see, that was him up there. So go back up. Go back. I think you got the little bat. It's hard to see him. No. But anyway, sorry y'all didn't see that. Go to my Facebook page. You'll see him. Po bat. Laying there. There he is. God diggity boy. Y'all look at this here. Look at that bat. I don't know. Look like he lost the bat. Look at him. Look what they doing. What do you think Dracula's saying? Talking about dope. That's some serious dope. But you see what the dope has done? He's come back alive and now he's making you pay. You know, every culture is different. They say, why are you showing that? Because you need to see it. See, that's the difference. That's what y'all don't understand about this here. see, y'all don't understand. I'm going to show it to you because somebody need to do it. All these other people want to be politically correct. They want to this and that. Man, please. you know what I'm saying? I'm going to do this here. You need to know. You need to see this. This is what they was doing. They say that's where that thing started. And I'm telling you, going around eating stuff like that, and now all over the country, they say here it is. And now the people in China saying the Americans brought it to them. No, that shit we see right there is what brought it to you. That's Dracula. Dracula said, I'm going to fix all y'all. So much for that. That's a dope. They use these things to try to say this and that. Look at it. I know you got enough. I understand there was a caller. Is there a caller still hanging around, man? And I don't mean hanging around, caller. But is the caller still there? All right, don't look like it's still there. So let me wrap up. Bottom line, tonight, it was sort of like a whirlwind. Yes, it was. And sometimes the spirit worked like that. Because next week we won't be here. Why? Because of this daggone bat. This bat. We won't be here next week. Look at that. I know I sound crazy as hell. Now you see where it came from. That bat is making folks close a whole lot of stuff across the world. That bat. Coronavirus. Yeah, okay. That's what you get. See? See, you see the price we paying? You can't do natural creatures any kind of way and don't pay. Feel me? So at the end of the day, just understand, there will be times when I will tweak like this. There will be times when I will go where you don't think nobody will go. But at the end of the day, who else gonna have the nerve to show you what you need to see? That's why we talked about Molly. That's why we talk about marijuana. That's why we talk about the things we talk about, is because we know that there's so much that you don't know. So we finna get up out of here because I know other things got to take place. Last thing I want you to understand is this here. If you got a problem with opioids, you got a problem with needing a referral, need training, call Mr. Lucius. Westside Harriet Opioid Task Force, 773-378-4195. Email westsidetaskforce@yahoo.com. Let me say this here. You know, I ain't speaking for Westside Task Force. I ain't speaking for none of them people. I'm speaking for me. Be clear. So don't be saying he was, you got it. You understand me? I'm out.